When the pandemic hit in early 2020, it became a game reset. Every high-touch and high-risk activity had been forced to move online. Ultimately, those in the digital industry are the winners. The pandemic has created a chance for entrepreneurs to rethink about problems in society and solve them efficiently through technology. East Ventures supported startup companies to identify these problems, as well as to focus on their core strengths so that they could adapt to the crisis, survive the worst of the storm, and come back stronger. Resilience, resourcefulness, and discipline become the key traits of success. The pandemic has served as a patch to Indonesia as a platform, which now has advanced digital infrastructure and more than 200 million internet users. In the end, COVID-19 is merely holding us back for a time. We are now witnessing how Indonesia's digital economy is preparing itself to slingshot towards its golden era. The recent merger of two Indonesian tech giants is a testament to the potential of Indonesia's strong digital economy. This is just the beginning of the rise of many startups in the future, from Indonesia to the world.
Hello and welcome to Startup Arena Pitch Battle Semifinals Southeast Asia Edition, brought to you by Tech in Asia and in collaboration with East Ventures. Today we'll be hearing from 4 very promising startups who are tackling issues in the environmental, social, and governance space. They are pitching for a chance to qualify through to the grand finals and win some very attractive prizes. My name is Ting from Tech in Asia, and I'll be your host today together with my teammate Nat.
That's right, and the pitch battle journey has made its way through Singapore and Indonesia. And this is our last pit stop before the Startup Arena Finals at our flagship conference happening in just a few weeks on October 12 and 13.
Yeah, and if you haven't gotten your tickets for that, you can still get them now at 25% off by clicking the link in the chat box. And this promotion ends in just a couple of days on the 26th of September. But for all of our Tech in Asia core and live subscribers that are tuning in right now, we are giving you access to the conference for free, so don't miss out on that. All right, now back to tonight's agenda. What are our rules looking like, Nat?
Well, it's very simple. Just like all pitch battles, each startup will have 5 minutes to present their pitches. After that, we'll have a 5 minutes Q&A where the judges can ask the startups some follow-up questions. Now, for each of those, we will have a timer going on. We'll be helping keep track, and there will be a bell that will go off once your time is up at the 5-minute mark. So pay attention and try not to go into long and like dry rants about your startup idea. But yes, it won't be a great battle without some awesome wins. So Ting, could you tell us what the prizes look like for today?
Right, so for all of our semi-finalists here today, you will get attractive prizes from Google Cloud Startup Program. The runner-up will receive perks at Tech in Asia Conference 2021, as well as additional prizes from Google Cloud and Zendit. And the winner of tonight's semi-final will receive all that plus 1-week trial to App Annie's Intelligent Light and 2,500 USD in cash prize sponsored by East Ventures. Thank you once again to our partners from App Annie, Google Cloud, Zendit.
Yes, but to get these attractive prizes, our contestants will have to impress the judges.
Right, yeah.
And do you know who our judges are for today?
No, you bring them in.
Let me bring them in. Today's judges are Kabir Narang, founding general partner at B Capital, Davina Halim, VP of Investment at East Ventures, and Santanu Mitra, Managing Director and Group Head of the Digital Economy Group at DBS. Good to have you with us today, judges.
Welcome to Startup Arena.
Could you tell us what exactly you're hoping to see from tonight's Startup Arena? Maybe like what you're expecting from these startups that are in these ESG solutions today. Kabir, maybe let's start with you. Do you have anything to tell us to tease about the Startup Arena for today?
No, excited with this. I think it's good, especially this stage, to get a sense on team, how people are thinking about building out the team. That's always so critical, especially at this stage. So I think that's gonna be quite interesting. I think the second one is just a bit more on the business model, how it's evolved. I mean, we understand at the early stage things kind of change, and there are always refinements to the model. So just learnings that the team has had through that. And third is just the market and how they think about the addressable market. So I'm looking forward to hearing a bit more on those three: team, business model, and then how they view the addressable market.
Right, so great tips right there.
Yeah, well said. Santanu, do you have anything to impart to our participants? A last minute advice for them before they get into their pitches for today?
No, I would like to echo what Kabir said, and I think sustainability is the big thing. So what will be very important is to sort of focus on the model in light of the context, because if for different geographies, different regions, the context and around sustainability could be different. So if they can correlate between the model and the context, it will be very important for us. I mean,
yeah, and we have many different countries joining us today. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And Davina, could you tell us maybe some of the criteria or some tips for the pitchers in terms of trying to impress the three of you, what they'll have to do or what they'll have to showcase? Could you shed some light on that?
Yeah, sure. I think having met so many early stage companies, right? So many people are trying to do a great product from day one. But I think my advice is just focus on the problem first, really understand what is the core problem and how to solve that problems, and how to generate value to the customers in return. I think if you can be very concise, very clear on the problem statement, then it is very easy for us to understand as well.
Wonderfully said. So thank you, judges, for taking the time today. Once again, it's very great to have you here. We'll get back to you in a bit, but just before we get started, we do want to remind our audience that this is not just a one-way kind of interaction show. Yeah. Do let us know which startup you are rooting for today. If not to affect the results of the pitch battle, at least to let the startups know that you think that they're doing great. So if you think any of the startups who come up to pitch are doing a great job, have a great solution for a very prominent problem, drop a comment in the chat box and let us know. But like I said, these comments will not impact the final results of the pitch battle, but it's still good to know, right?
Yeah, words of encouragement, always welcome them.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so now that we got all the formalities out in the way, let the battle begin. Let's welcome our very first startup of the day. From the Philippines, we have Emman from WellNest. WellNest wants to address mental health and wellness challenges by creating a community that focuses on well-being, where they can become better together through coaching and therapy. Hi, Emman. Welcome to the stage.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Nat and Ting. Great being here.
Yeah, how are you feeling? Are you nervous being the first one to kick us off?
Yes, a bit, but also excited because I just like to enjoy this and be able to have a platform for us to be able to spread the word about our endeavor. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great attitude. You're exactly right. So you get to set the tone. We're all cheering you on. And when you're ready, your 5 minutes will begin now.
All right. So good afternoon. My name is Emman, co-founder of WellNest. We are developing an app that will bring together a community of users, coaches, and therapists focused on being better together. To explain our app in the simplest manner, we want to be the booking.com for mental therapists and coaches. WellNest will enable users to browse through world-class coaches and therapists, book a session, and perform the session all within the app. It is literally wellness on your fingertips. The prolonged pandemic has led us to live in abnormal situations. These abnormal situations have brought out emotions and experiences we have not yet encountered before, such as languishing, depression, and anxiety. My co-founder and I have had several conversations revolving around the question, how can we help people adapt and thrive in the now normal? And that is how we came up with WellNest. WellNest is more than just an app. It's a movement. It aims to create a safe community to focus on being better together in all aspects of life. A user can choose a category, browse coaches, book a session, meet the coach or therapist, all within the app. We have 6 categories: mental wellness, performance coaching, relationship coaching, spiritual counseling, lifestyle coaching, and financial coaching. We also have news feeds, daily journals, and wellness courses to provide additional value to our community members. We believe that the time is now because mental illness is the third most common disability in the Philippines, and over 6 million Filipinos have had mental health problems at some point in their lives. Definitely, therapy and coaching can help. And while there are many coaching communities in the country, there is no one with an app to make the customer experience convenient and seamless. We shall have the first mover advantage as we shall be the first coaching and therapy booking app not only in the Philippines, but in Southeast Asia. The market potential in the Philippines is $1 million, assuming a 100,000 users, and our immediate target is to reach 1% of the population, which is 1 million people, while we have a potential of $121 billion in Southeast Asia and $240 billion globally. We aim to have a revenue of 500,000 USD by the third year. We are mainly a B2C app, but we can also do B2B, as companies understand all the more that employee well-being has a direct impact on productivity and ultimately profitability. The app will earn from 2 revenue streams: monthly subscription of $2 and a share from each coaching session of $4. The health and wellness space is a very competitive space, but most of these companies are based in US and Europe. We want to marry the telehealth feature with a social aspect to become the first mental health and coaching booking app in Southeast Asia. We have already completed our angel funding, and we are currently onboarding our network of 100 coaches. We will launch in early October in time for the Mental Health Month in the Philippines. We aim to raise 200,000 USD in the next round. By 2023, we are projected to have 200,000 users, 2,000 coaches, and 50,000 sessions. We have a formidable team supporting us. My co-founder, Paul Espinas, already has 7 apps in his company, including MoveUp, an e-learning app that garnered the Best Startup Award in the Southeast Asian Startup Awards. We have 8 very supportive investors, including 2 lawyers, and our tech team includes 3 dedicated tech developers, formerly from IBM Philippines, who have extensive experience in building MVPs and multiple versions. This is our impact to society. We generate revenue and livelihood for coaches and therapists, normalize mental health discussions, and enable people to live well holistically in mind, heart, and body. If you invest with us, you can share in this impact as well. This app is more than just a business to us. It's our chance to shine a ray of hope amidst the darkness, to remind people that life, no matter how challenging, is still worth living. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Emmanuel. That was a great 5 minutes, and the chat box is going off. You have a lot of supporters. Good to see that. All right, so let's move on to the Q&A. Judges, how about you kick us off with the first question?
Yeah, no, thank you for that great presentation. I guess the first question is, how are you thinking about the next year or two to just focus on either Philippines and try to just be the dominant player there versus at what stage you think about broader Southeast Asia?
Thank you for that question, Sir Kabir. Yes, our main objective is to be able to be dominant in the Philippines, and we have actually 5-pronged marketing and distribution campaign strategy to be able to support that. First is really digital marketing. We will apply what my co-founder used as a strategy in his 7 apps to be able to promote our app. Secondly, we are going to cross-market with the other apps. The other app called MoveUp has 60,000 subscribers. 20,000 of those are Filipinos. So we can do weekly emails to them because the app is actually an e-learning app, which is quite aligned with coaching. So if, for example, after you went through the app, the e-learning app, you want to be coached, you can go to the other platform in WellNest. The third would be partnership with a brand ambassador. So we are actually in the final stages of closing a deal with one of the most popular celebrities in the Philippines, who has a wide network, not only in showbiz, but also in government and in corporations. The fourth would be affiliate marketing program. We will have loyalty benefits for both users and coaches. And the fifth would be partnerships with associations and government institutions to be able to promote our app.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, hi. I have a question which is related to, what is going to be the driver? Like, are you going to reach out, because you mentioned employers will be concerned about employees' well-being. So are you thinking of marketing this through a B2B2C route, which is going through the employers? And in that case, why would employees be opening up if they have some problems? They would rather want to keep it to themselves, usually in this particular situation. So I just wanted to understand, how are you going to market this?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Santana, for that question. So our primary model is B2C, and we will also explore B2B. So the good thing about, again, the other app called MoveUp is that we have already partnered with several companies to be able to provide e-learning for their people, so we can actually cross-market to them and offer coaching services. So our categories include not only just mental wellness, but also performance coaching, business coaching. So if, for example, you have an employee who is not performing well, we can actually, the company can actually purchase, for example, 20 vouchers of performance coaching sessions so that the HR manager can enroll his employee to be able to do performance coaching sessions with our top-notch coaches.
Understood.
Yeah, I do have one question. You mentioned that earlier you are focusing on the B2C market. I think that the problem with B2C, right, it's kind of like once the user transact with you and once they feel better, then it might take them a while before they start getting back to the platform again. In this B2C strategy specifically, any strategies that you are thinking to increase the user retention to keep coming back to your platform?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Ms. Davina. So our MVP would mostly be a booking app, but we would want to really add value to our users. So in the next revision, in the next updates, we will have daily journals. We'll also have wellness courses, wellness videos. We will also have affirmators. We'll also have a way to be able to give feedback to the coaches. Basically, we want to be the go-to app when we talk about mental well-being. So it's not just going to be about coaching, but creating an ecosystem and a community about well-being, so that users will still be able to go into the app and subscribe every month to be able, so that we can be profitable as well.
All right, that's 5 minutes. Thank you so much, judges, and thank you so much. All right, so we're gonna move on to our next startup for today, who comes from Vietnam.
Yeah.
Equo is a sustainable brand providing 100% plastic-free biodegradable and compostable solutions to replace everyday single-use plastic items. The Vietnamese company helps the earth tackle environmental pollution caused by non-eco-friendly materials such as plastics.
Yeah, that's great.
Always love to see these environmentally friendly approach startups. They're trying to reduce plastic waste and all of that. You know, here at Tech in Asia, we actually have that kind of approach to sustainability as well. So it's great to see. Marina from Equo, are you on stage?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very loud and clear. Are you ready for your pitch?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so your 5 minutes starts now.
All right, so I'm just going to jump right into it. So 1 million people die each year from plastic pollution. Hundreds of thousands of sea animals are killed each year from plastic. 50% of all plastic produced is used only once. These are the headlines we hear over and over again because we know plastic is a problem. And with the latest statistics showing that we have less than 8 years until we do irreversible damage to the planet, we have to do something, and we have to do something right now. Now, sweeping government bans are taking place across the globe in an effort to slow down the double-digit growth of the single-use plastic straw and utensils category. These are categories that haven't slowed down despite reusable alternatives such as metal, silicone, and those gross soggy paper straws that have been around for years. And that is where Equo comes in. Equo is a sustainable brand providing 100% plastic-free and compostable solutions to replace everyday single-use plastic items. We're starting off with drinking straws made out of materials you can actually pronounce: grass, rice, coconut, sugarcane, and coffee. Our products decompose in months, not centuries, and they're so easy and convenient to switch to, you don't have to change your lifestyle or your behavior. No washing, no carrying around. And they help to promote a circular economy by diverting waste from landfills in order to produce them. Now you can use it once and throw it away without any of the worry and none of the guilt. Also, we're doing something different. We're saying, yes, you can have choice. Even in a traditionally homogenous category where you only got to choose plastic and now paper, you have the power to choose a straw that matches your preferences. For example, let's say you want a straw that matches the color of your drink for that perfect Instagram shot. Or how about a straw that never gets soggy for that extra large iced coffee? Or how about a straw that you can snack on when you get hangry mid-drink? We've got you covered. We're disrupting the category by branding something typically commoditized and saying, pay attention to this category and pay attention to your choice in straw or fork, things that you've never thought twice about. We're bright, colorful, and quirky, and we don't look like a straw brand because how many straw brands can you name? Exactly. We are going to market, launching directly and selling to consumers through online e-commerce channels and directly to businesses themselves, ones that sell our products for us, like grocery stores and e-commerce shops, and also to businesses themselves, like coffee shops and restaurants, to use for their own customers. Our brand building, product education, and awareness on one side will help us get the volume and revenue that we need on the other. That way, we don't disappear like the hundreds of other single-use sustainable manufacturers that have been around for 20 plus years, but have garnered a whopping less than 1% market share during their time. And we are proving this is working with over $100,000 in sales, and also an average 40% month-over-month growth since the beginning of the year. In addition to that, we've been able to acquire some great customers, including GS25, a convenience store chain in Vietnam, Fair Price, a grocery store chain in Singapore, and yes, you are seeing it correctly, Italian global fashion brand Prada. We've also gained a lot of great global media coverage, including in Forbes, Pop Sugar, Tastemade, and most recently an appearance and offer on Shark Tank Vietnam Season 4. We've also gained industry recognition for our products and business, including a Gold Asia Pacific Stevie Award for Innovation in Consumer Products, being the first Vietnam-based company admitted into and backed by Techstars. And we're also recently named a top 18 startup in the Ending Plastic Pollution Challenge backed by the UNDP. Now, we are starting off with straws and utensils, but the market is so much bigger. We have a full product line of dishware, stationery, and bags that we plan to launch to address the over $70 billion single-use plastic category. We are a women-owned business of 100% Vietnamese talent with experience at large-scale international companies. And we are not only changing the industry, we're creating real change in Vietnam and around the world, educating consumers and pushing Vietnam to the forefront as a global leader in sustainability. If you're interested in how Equo is changing the world, or would like to become an ally and help accelerate our journey to ridding the world of single-use plastic, connect with us by scanning this QR code. My name is Marina from Equo, and we're on a mission to provide small solutions that will have a big impact. Now I will open the floor to any questions that you might have.
Very nice, Marina. Thank you so much for that pitch. Let's move on to the Q&A. Judges, let Marina know if you have any questions for Equo. Maybe let's start with Santanu. This time let's start with you.
Sure, thanks. Marina, really good idea. I just wanted to understand what's the, where are you making this? What's your manufacturing location? And is this scalable to other geographies? Like, if this has to be widely adopted, it has to be made all across. So what's your raw material and is it scalable?
Yes, so our raw materials are sourced from all over Southeast Asia, primarily in Vietnam as well as in Taiwan. And what really allows us to be able to scale quickly is first off the fact that we have a variety of different sources for our products. In addition to that, we also have a variety of different manufacturers. So another part that you may not be seeing on the surface is that underneath, we actually have a secondary business model that allows us to basically aggregate a lot of smaller manufacturers. This way we can eliminate any concerns around production capacity. And from there as well, be able to scale up and into different countries as well. So that is what has allowed us to scale to countries like Singapore, Vietnam, US, Canada, Australia, and parts of Europe where we're currently shipping to.
Okay.
Okay. Kabir or Davina, do you have any questions for Marina?
I was gonna say, Marina, this is terrific what you're doing. I think it's clearly high impact. So congratulations to you and the team. I guess the one question, how are you going to think about product range? Where is it right now? Where do you see that product range go to, say, in 12 months' time?
Absolutely. As I mentioned, our plan is just to start with drinking straws because it is really, it's a funny kind of saying, but it's considered the gateway plastic for a lot of industries and people. And so we are starting off with drinking straws, but we have already launched into utensils, including sugarcane, coffee, and wooden utensils. And then from there, our plan to go into dishware and bags, which we've already tested in small quantities and capacities in Vietnam as well. So the idea is that we would replace anything that has to do with single-use plastic. That is our primary goal, and it's a very focused goal, but at the same time, single-use plastic is literally the largest single polluter in terms of plastic in the planet. So that is something that we want to address, and it's going to take a long time for us to solve that because it's such a big category.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Marina. It's really nice to hear what you're doing here. I think my question is one, right? I think in Indonesia, I've seen a few like smaller players trying to tackle the same problem. But one of the biggest challenges is that the pricing is not competitive to the current, plastic single-way solution. Do you think that this is a niche market or? Yeah, I'm just curious on, you mentioned that you wanted to make it into a large-scale international company. How do you plan to kind of do this?
Yes, so absolutely. Pricing is always going to be a barrier, especially with new materials like ours. We are basically behind plastic and paper, which have had decades of opportunities to basically get a lot of efficiencies in terms of their cost in the production. So we definitely acknowledge that. The great thing, and this is kind of a mandated sort of thing, is that government bans across the world are basically making it mandatory for people to make a change. So we do have that going for us, which is nice. Like when you're being forced to make a change, it helps our industry quite a bit. So that is one. The second sort of thing that we kind of rely on is obviously as we scale, we can already see a lot of efficiency. So our goal is to basically behind the scenes, reduce our pricing year over year. As of right now, with our comparative pricing, plastic straws, for example, are about 1/10 of a cent. Paper is about 2.5 cents, and those are for the ones that are kind of good and last for maybe 10 minutes in your drink. And then there's ours, which are wholesale about 3 to 6 cents, depending on the material. So we are more expensive, but we're really not that far off. And as we start to see more and more efficiencies in our production and our capacity and demand, we know that at least in the next tier, we can save about 15%, 20%, 30%. So I think it's just only a matter of time, and the adaptation of our materials is just a matter of time before it's going to happen. So it's just how quickly that will happen, which is really kind of the question mark.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Marina and judges, for your questions. Next up, we have HomeCrowd, hailing from Malaysia, an impact enterprise that helps millennials underserved by traditional banking. So it's speaking to us. It uses holistic data-driven credit scoring that grants loan applicants access to a P2P lending platform for mortgage and debt consolidation loans. It's quite a lot. All right, welcome, Dave. How are you?
Feeling nervous and at the same time excited.
Okay, let's go for the excited, and then make sure you show that to the screen. All right. Okay, your 5 minutes start now.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. What inspired me to start a company is I see there are big and beautiful problems to solve with technology. You know, it takes 60 years to grow a healthy tree to be cut, and it requires 44 trees to build a decent home. Today, we have a huge unsold houses in Malaysia alone. So this translates to a massive of 12.5 million trees that have been cut and not being utilized. So this is not as sustainable and also not climate healthy as well. At the same time, millennial home ownership is at all-time low. 60% of Malaysian home buyers will decline access to mortgage financing by traditional banks. Mortgage market is a huge market. Our target market is a first-time home buyer, especially those underserved by traditional bank. We look into profile like first, those who have a secondary income other than from a primary job. Second is a thin credit file. And thirdly is a stable gig economy workers. HomeCrowd platform create a socially equitable financing to help the deserving millennial to achieve home ownership. So let me show you how it works. An eligible home buyer, say City, come onto HomeCrowd platform, do a quick assessment. Oh, sorry. Oh, can someone help me to the video demo? Can someone help me to the video demo? I'm lost here.
Hi, Dave. Is the video in your slides?
Yeah, correct. I can't turn back or rewind.
I think you have to go back on your slides.
Got it. So yeah, an eligible home buyer, say a City, come onto HomeCrowd platform, do a quick assessment and hit apply for mortgage. So she key in her personal and a brief financial information. Our platform first validate her Malaysia ID and analyze her mortgage eligibility. After approved, City next key in her full financial information, employment history, and the property info she wants to buy. We also analyze her monthly bill payment history and also the applicant linking connection to assess their future employability. Finally, our credit risk officer determine City a HomeCrowd credit score. Once approved, we release a loan on our platform where lender can choose to invest. HomeCrowd lender receive a fixed and a safe return. Investors don't just get a return, they also get update from the successful home buyer through the HomeCrowd community and feel good knowing they make a difference. We take a cut of interest between the borrower and investor during the financing period. We appoint a trusted company to secure the property trust on behalf of the investor. We have come a long way to obtain regulatory clearance from both Central Bank of Malaysia and our Housing Ministry. Since our MVP launch, we received good interest from both borrower and investor as well as a property agent for our product. Breaking down the early sign of our product market fit, we have a potential loan book of a first-time home buyer, and also for the retail investor who are keen to diversify their investment in collateralized mortgage and impact investing. We have partnered with Experian to support our eKYC and credit score infrastructure. Global SciTech will support us for the psychometric testing for us to further understand our applicant behavior. UN Sunrise joined us as our first property developer partner, and we recently partnered with Sunray Accelerator as well. Our funding team has a combined 35 years experience from financial services, lending, product, and software engineering. We are also supported by an advisor coming from a complementary domain expert. So HomeCrowd stand apart from the rest.
Sorry, Dave, we're gonna have to cut you off just there. But let's hope that the Q&A, you'll be able to finish up what you have to say. All right, Davina, can we start off with the question, please?
All right.
Sure, yeah. Thanks, Dave, for your presentation. I guess my main question is, you target customers, whose loan applications are not approved by banks or are not yet serviced by banks. How do you mitigate the risk, in the case of default?
Yeah, of course. Just to clarify, our target market is a first-time home buyer. So, of course, those are underserved by traditional banking. Like the profile that they have additional income apart from their primary job, and also the thin credit file, and lastly, stable gig economy workers. So of course, yeah, similar to the banking is a collateralized loan. So of course, we also follow the 3 months NPL as well. So of course, first month we will remind them if they forgot their payment. Of course, second month will be more aggressive to understand what is our financial difficulties, or in the event that they need to restructure their loan, or even withdraw from the pension fund to pay off the monthly areas. And of course, the 3-month trigger NPL will follow up with more aggressive like the legal action, and of course the last but not least the foreclosure procedure as well. But on top of that, we also want to implement a social finance element as well. So what do I mean by that is also, in the event that certain home buyer, there's a legitimate issue that their family member encountered a very unprecedented high medical bill, we can also offer a donation crowdfunding to pay off their money arrears or the outstanding for them to recover from this unexpected situation.
All right. How about Santanu? Do you have a question for Dave?
Yeah. So, Dave, on this model, who are the lenders? You're basically crowdsourcing the lending, and then what kind of returns are you giving to them compared to? I mean, you have said 0.5% margin is your fee. So what kind of returns are you giving, and what kind of traction are you seeing so far? Because there are a lot of players, I believe, who have similar models. So just wanted to understand from a competitive dynamic perspective.
Yeah. So first and foremost, our go-to-market strategy will be of course, at the beginning, we'll be relying on most of the significant debt capital funding. Of course, next, our go-to-market strategy also will be a mix of the companies, like finance company that are focused on the social finance and also the ESG as well. Of course, for the retail investor, we will be also for them to chip in a small amount to achieve crowdfund together with the institutional investor as well. Of course, the return that we are we are targeting to give is 4 to 6% based on the current interest rate environment in Malaysia. And for the information for borrower, we actually charge slightly higher than the banking rate because we are taking into risk premium of the underserved market as well.
Okay.
Thanks for that. Kabir, any questions?
Yeah, Dave, just want to get a sense how you're viewing your credit scoring model. I know you spoke about holistic data-driven credit scoring. What is the advantage you see you have versus other traditional mortgage companies that have been there for several years?
Yeah, so as I briefly shared in the video demo, we still look into the primary data through our partnership with Experian as well, and also from the application information. On top of that, we also look into the alternative data like their money bill to check their payment discipline. Second is the social media, i.e. their linking connection to assess their future employability. And thirdly, the psychometric testing partner, where we assess based on their character as well.
Got that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, judges. Thank you so much, Dave, for that pitch, for your 5 minutes. Now before we go to our final startup for this evening,
It's pretty quick.
we do have a reminder for all of you watching this on YouTube, on the website. And it's that our Technology Conference is happening in a few weeks' time, October 12 and 13. So if you have not gotten your tickets, again, you can still get it at 25% off by hitting the link in the chat box down below. But if you're a Technology Core and live subscriber, you don't even have to sweat it because we're giving you access to the conference for free. So you can either hit the link in the chat or you can become a Technology Core or live subscriber. We won't make you choose, but don't miss out on that because we're going to have some exciting stuff lined up for you at the conference. Aside from just the finals for Startup Arena, we'll have some very insightful sessions and you'll get to network with other startups in the industry, some potential investors. You never know, could be an opportunity. But back to today's agenda. Coming all the way from Thailand, let's invite Waradom from AltoTech. So AltoTech helps companies reduce energy consumption with its AI and IoT energy management platform. The company helps hoteliers manage their hotel resources efficiently by reducing workflow and reducing electricity bills by up to 30%. All right, Waradom, are you with us?
All right, thank you so much, Nat. Okay, so should I get started?
Yep, you can get started. Your 5 minutes begins right now.
Good luck.
Hi, everyone. My name is Waradom Kaminchai. So I'm from the startup called AltoTech. At AltoTech, we develop AIoT energy management platform for buildings and smart city. Okay, let me move the screen. Okay, so every year, okay, let me go back. Okay, so every year, the world added 51,000 billion of GHG greenhouse gases to the atmosphere, right? So we know that by looking at that number, maybe it's not impacting to us, but when we look at its impact, it affects to 5 million people. 5 million people, they're dead annually because of the impact of climate change. If we do nothing, it's going to impact our GDP, right, by 18%. So when we look at the cost of GHG emissions, manufacturing, building, and electricity consumption account by half, right? So when we look at which sector has potential, building is the one that has the most potential that we can reduce CO2 at low cost. Not only AltoTech that thinking about this, many organizations, corporates also thinking like us, and they also targeting to cut the emission by 30% in the next few years. So achieving energy efficiency and being net zero energy by 2050 hard and complicated. Why? Because buildings has complicated system. We have different lighting system. We have different brand of solar PV air conditioning system. So even though you have devices, you also require experts staying at your building, right? At your hotel or like corporate buildings. So even though you have good engineer, which really hard to find, right? You still have manual control. So everything is really manual at the building currently. So what AltoTech thinking? We develop Auto Energy Edge platform that we can combine to self-driving platform, right? So we gonna self-drive the building. We have Auto OS that can connect to many devices in the building. We have Auto Energy Analytics performing as virtual expert at your building, and we have the self-driving that automatically control your device for the automation. So these are how the things work. So all the links are tied together, and we can automatically control the buildings for energy saving. So what we doing, right? We do energy audit, try to find the potential energy saving from the building. We install IoT device, and we running our self-driving algorithm, and then building owner gonna gain that saving so that we can save up to 30%. So this is the case study that we did in Thailand. Big Rim is the corporate building in Thailand. So the energy use is around 100 kilowatt hour per square meter per year. So comparing to building standard in like 2020, it's A plus building, but this building still emit a lot of CO2. So if they want to become zero energy building now, they cannot, because based on the standard in the next few years, they're gonna be like E class building. So what we're doing, right? So we developed the digital twins for this building, and based on these digital twins, we develop our AI algorithm that learn from digital twins, and then we apply the control algorithm in real life. So the result that we got, so this is the web dashboard that we can see it in real time, and building owner can see the performance of their building. And what we got, we can save 28% of their energy by running things automatically and not relying on human, because it's really hard to run the building with efficiency, right? So for our business model, we offer as energy data as a service company. So we have option for them to buy, to subscribe, to loan, and we also have Equo company who invest in energy efficiency project through us. So we can offer our solution for them with a variety of financing. So when you're looking at that one building, there are also like over 100,000 of buildings in Thailand, and not only in Thailand, also in Southeast Asia. They're also facing this problem. They also want to go for that target. And in Southeast Asia market, the market is like $1,500 billion, right? So this our attraction. We manage over 120,000 square meter of spaces, and we can save over 100,000 per hour. Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, thank you so much, Waradom. But your 5 minutes is up. Let's hope that maybe you could wrap it up during the questions and answer segment. But judges, do you have any questions for Waradom? Maybe let's start with Santanu.
Yeah, thanks, Waradom. This is an area where the challenge that a lot of people face is in actually integrating legacy systems and controlling them. The energy audit can be an offline activity you can suggest, but the continuous implementation, monitoring, and control needs a lot of retrofitting in legacy equipment. So what's your sort of proposition there? You mentioned you're fitting IoT devices, but are they kind of compatible for all legacy control equipments that are there?
Exactly, right. So for those legacy devices, actually we integrated with many air conditioning system, right? So we have like we working with aircon manufacturer like Daikin, Carrier, right? Like or Toshiba. So we working with them, and actually there's like the IoT adapter for now that you can plug into your aircon, your chiller, or your pumps. Now is like really like cheap, right? And it's also getting cheaper and cheaper, right? So with the Auto OS platform that we developed, we want it to be a platform and protocol and vendor agnostic, right? So we can integrate with various brands, like Daikin, like Toshiba, Hitachi, Samsung. Like you you can name it. And we have installed our platform in over 30 buildings, 30 sites in Thailand already, and we think that this is going to be one of the driver that can help not only business to save their operation costs, but also like helping cutting carbon emission from when we can aggregate all this building together. So yeah. So the thing you mentioned, we already developed.
Okay.
Right. Thank you for that. Kabir, do you have anything for Waradom?
Waradom, just shifting gears a bit, you had a slide on team. Can you talk through how you built the team so far? What are some of the open positions that you're looking to kind of further build out over the next 12 to 18 months?
Sure. So for our team, we have expert from like different fields, right? So by myself, I graduated from the US. So I got PhD in electrical and computer engineering. I used to work with US Department of Energy, work in Silicon Valley startup. So I have strong background in not only IoT, but also energy and AI machine learning. So I also teach machine learning and deep learning for NVIDIA. And so for my team, we have like strong people with strong background in engineering, electrical, mechanical, civil, and like computer engineering. So we kind of like for now we have 12 full-time employee and 8 interns. So we have like 20 people working together. We not only this, we also have our consult and our mentor. So we have professor in Thailand, right, from top university in Thailand. We also like working with Pacific Northwest National Lab in the US and NREL, right, National Renewable Energy Lab in the US as well for consulting, and we exchange our knowledge with them. So we kind of like try to make sure that our knowledge and our practice is like one of the best solution that we can give to our customers. And we keep constantly validate ourselves with Department of Energy in Thailand and also in the US and like elsewhere as well.
Thank you, Waradom.
Thank you.
All right. Davina, do you have something for Waradom?
Yeah, just a last question maybe. I think personally this is very interesting, but I'm wondering on the success KPIs, right? Can you walk us through briefly maybe on the ROI calculation? How much savings are you able to provide those customers, and how do you charge them?
Okay, so for us, when we offer our solution to like our customer, basically we have 2 charges. So number one, we have initial fee for IoT devices, installation, commissioning, and then based on energy saving, on monthly energy saving, we also like get, for example, if they buy, they pay us like one fee, and then we get like energy saving fee from them based on our performance. So basically, based on how much electricity we be saving, we get around 30%. So that's gonna be like recurring and stream revenue for us that keep us like forward. The more we save, the more we get.
All right, thank you, Waradom. Really great one. And that's actually all of our pitches for today. Thank you to all the startups for putting your best pitch forward. You guys have done great. The hard part is over. You guys can take a seat back and kind of relax for now. And it's over to the judges, right? So our team is going to whisk you away to a private virtual room, and you have a tough decision ahead of you. There's a 50% chance of winning or walking away today. So, and to the audience, you guys can participate too. So we really want to hear from you. I think there's a poll going on. You've heard all the pitches. Now vote in. You want to put in your comments to, any words of encouragement. We love to hear from you. And now, yeah, what's going to happen now, Nat?
Well, while the judges step away to deliberate on who today's winners will be, we got to keep the conversation going.
Keep the people happy.
That's right. Got to keep the people happy. Got to keep them engaged with our TechNature journalist, Nikita Puri. So Nikita, could you come on stage?
Hi
Hey,
guys.
Marina.
Hi Nat. Hi
How's it
Trin.
going?
All good. You guys have been talking about about how one lucky winner is going to walk away with some amazing prizes.
Yeah.
But I think there's somebody else who's luckier. It's the judges. They get
That's
to
right.
they get to sort of decide, make this really important decision, a really hard decision, away from prying eyes, and they can sort of like talk to each other and take a call on this. I think I envy them more than the winner because we've seen some really good contenders today. Like,
Yeah, they have. They have front row seats to them.
yeah, absolutely. And in a perfect world, we would love for all of them to win because all of the solutions they are presenting are extremely crucial to the future that we're going to be living in. So I don't know. It's going to be really hard, I think, to sort of make a call on this.
Well, Nikita, you never know. There could be some other investors in the chat and watching the stream right now.
Yeah. Comment down below if you're an investor.
Yeah, pipe in.
Like,
And they could be interested in some of the startups today. It's not only about winning the prizes or going to the grand finals. It's all about attracting attention.
It's the journey.
Right.
The friends you meet along the way.
Yeah. So I think even the slides were quite interesting and covered a lot of points, and for almost all the startups. I think the questions that the judges sort of asked also were follow-ups to the slides, because these guys made sure they had all the information up front. So that was also very important. And I don't know, personally speaking, it's been so hard for me to pick like one startup out of all of this. Did you guys decide? Did you guys have a pick?
Oh, we're kind of observers. We're the parents that go like, oh yeah, every child is my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. But you know what's interesting is that the previous two episodes, if you can call them, the one from Singapore edition and then the Indonesia edition, we usually have a couple of maybe three of the startups all working on the same problem because they're all in the same region, tackling the same sort of social issues, environmental issues. But today, because it's the Southeast Asia region one, from everyone from different country within this region, they're all tackling different problems, which is very interesting to watch. And yeah, so for you, that I know you're dialing in from India, is there any particular industry that's close to your heart that that can help India?
I think sustainability. When you talk about sustainability, it's a pretty big area. But when it comes to packaging material or single-use plastic, I think that is completely that it haunts my dreams. Okay, I'm a big-time shopper. I love e-commerce. I order food in all the time, but every single time it upsets me so much to see the packaging that it comes in. It breaks my heart, and I'm just like, I'm responsible for so much of what goes in, if it's not being recycled or anything. And I think it's a really big responsibility. So in as much as I back these startups who are working on alternative material, like Equo is working with straws, like for starters. It's also really difficult for them to sort of meet market fit because, Marina was talking about gross paper straws and how these products have been around for quite some time, these paper straws, but they haven't like quite really taken off because we really know it doesn't walk with you throughout the journey, throughout the time that you're finishing your drink. By the time you're halfway through, you've said goodbye to that straw. And it's an experience you do not want to have again. Mm-hmm. I think that is one big fear and one big obstacle that these startups have to overcome. That there have been mistakes, trials and errors made in the past, and they have to do better. I think they're increasingly, sort of reaching a place where there's no space to be average. You really have to be the best. So I think they're reaching that spot very quickly. And that is why I would sort of back Equo, specifically if they're going beyond straws. They were talking about working with alternative material for packaging and for actually wares, kitchen wares and all. And that would be a big deal. Yes, I may not be able to put it in the micro, but I think it would work very well otherwise.
Yeah.
Also, I think mental health wellness, that's also a pretty big deal. But we're seeing so many startups in the space right now. We're seeing just so many people vying for that one big contract with corporates or with, signing up new customers. And I think what's really important in this space is the first mover advantage. And we already have like a lot of people in the race right now. It's like the early bird will get the worm unless the bird really does something wrong. So yeah, so we're all like, let's see how WellNest does.
Exactly. Even for us at Tech in Asia, we just added a new perk to our like employee benefits and all that, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's starting to pick up definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also very interested in seeing how sort of that will work out. Yeah, but talking about mental health and feeling better, the idea that that somebody can sort of help you buy a house, your dream house, is really very appealing. And I think we are increasingly getting into a space where we talk about having our own place. It's becoming really important, specifically for millennials. As more and more people become independent, they want their own homes, which is why what HomeCrowd is doing is also pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But they also have like serious challenges ahead. Like I think they charge higher than the banks do. So I don't know, would I just work on my credit score rating and get something on a lower interest than going for peer-to-peer lending? I don't know. It's something that's to be looked at.
Yeah, the judges asked some pretty tough questions on that one as well.
Yeah. But there's an emotional appeal to buying a house because you don't quite see it in the same level as saving the planet. That's too big of an idea, even if it is like one straw at a time. But buying a house is like more practical and more, it's an approachable dream.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Even with what AltoTech is doing, it's quite interesting. But again, I don't know how they're going to manage to sort of convince people also enough. They have to really sort of show electricity bills side by side, power bills. Like, I think that's the only way to sort of convince people to sort of adopt their technology.
Yeah, they have a pretty strong team, no?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what. But I think they have to go beyond the strong team and actually show what's on paper. Like the power bills. Like this is going to be your electricity consumption if you adopt these energy-friendly technologies. That is what's going to really convince people. So I think it's not just about the science, but unfortunately, in their case, it might be also about the sales and the marketing.
Yeah, it's really impressive what all these startups are doing. A small team of 10, 20 people are going ahead and tackling all these huge problems with tremendous potential, but a lot of roadblocks. So we have to give them as much encouragement as we can.
Yeah. Right. I actually have a question because, over the past maybe 3 to 5 years, we've increasingly heard a lot of talk about ESG initiatives, not just ESG startups, but corporates doing their own ESG initiatives, and even individuals like you and me, like doing our own ESG stuff to basically not just look after ourselves, but also like look after the world. Why do you think that this is gaining traction, and why specifically within the startup scene is ESG becoming so much more of a thing?
I think the answer is, we know it's happening in the startup world because that's the world that we belong to. But then otherwise also, I think it's gaining traction because we see the changes happening around us, and these changes aren't subtle in any way anymore. From unseasonable monsoons to it getting too hot, too cold, it's just not something you can brush off anymore.
Yes.
And I think that is what is sort of beginning to sort of push the person, even even those who want to ignore. It's really hard to ignore. You walk by a garbage dump and you see a plastic, and that itself is like one reminder of the things that you're hearing and you're seeing everywhere. It's these subtle reminders are basically everywhere. You don't have to actually wait for bad rainfall anymore.
Yeah, let's continue to give ESG the spotlight in events like this, in our articles, and we're going to be tackling this subject for sure at the conference that's happening soon as well.
Yeah. Well, so sorry.
No, please go on. You were saying something now?
No, I was just wondering because ESG often is a tough industry for startups to break into because a lot of these problems require quite a bit of capital to solve.
Right.
And I guess that's why we do events like these to give these startups some exposure to potentially obtain capital. But do you think that there's an avenue for them to not just solve these problems with large scale venture capital funding, but also to do so in a sustainable manner that will allow them to operate maybe even without funding?
Okay, so I think that's like the hottest question that we've started asking ever since we started talking about ESG. Can these startups ever be profitable? Can they ever be something that you can just say, oh yeah, it's a safe thing to bet on? I think that question has been around ever since the whole discussion started. And it's too early to say yes to it because we're still seeing other startups that are not so profitable but doing very well otherwise. They have investor confidence. And it's all in the hope that in the long run, it will pay off. It's all about in the long run. I think these startups should also sort of get that, benefit of doubt, if I might say that, because this is going to pay in the long run. It is going to pay off in the long run. It's going to be harder now, of course, because it's really hard to get it off the ground. It's really hard for it to get support. But maybe in a few years from now, we'll be more open about it, specifically with so many governments also stepping in. Our policies are changing, our regulations are changing. So change is coming, but perhaps the climate change is faster than government change. So we've got to reverse that.
Right,
that's for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Nikita. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. I hope you're doing well over there.
Yes, all good.
Yeah, so thanks for spending time with us. Thank you for that very interesting discussion.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Thanks, Ting. Bye-bye.
Take care. Now, our judges are back. Our judges have re-entered our Zoom chat. We saw a few chat bubbles pop up. So we're very excited to hear what they decided. But we also have a little bit of a reminder for some people, especially if you're a startup founder. Don't miss out on our startup factory, where you can exhibit and validate your product to over thousands of potential customers and investors. Also, our speed dating segment gives you the undivided attention of some of the most prominent investors who are focused on early stage startups in Asia's tech ecosystem. So you can sign up for both of these today. Those will be happening during our conference. It's happening in a few weeks.
Yeah.
So back to the Startup Arena Rest of Southeast Asia semifinals. Our judges are back. Maybe before we get into who's the winner, who's the runner-up, do you guys want to tell us who or something about these startups that have made it to these runner-up and winner positions, who are going to go to the grand finals at the Technasia conference on October 12th and 13th? Maybe, Davina, you could tell us a little something about the winner without spoiling it yet.
Yeah, I guess, the winner is someone who can sell their story very strong. And I think that they can explain the problem very well. And the solution itself is something that is very workable in our opinion, if they have the right, the right capability to do it.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. So I hear very clear presentation style, very clear deck, and a very good problem to have that is solvable with that. So
yeah. Kabir, maybe you could tell us a little bit about what about this person made the vote for them, being the winner. Yeah, Kabir, could you share some of your thoughts?
Yeah, it came down to, if you recall, I said at the beginning, I think the three things that are important is kind of team, especially in what we talk about business model and then addressable market. I think so. The team part, how the founder was able to kind of define the problem statement and address that. I think that was a very important part as we were discussing. And so I think that was kind of key. I think a lot of across all four companies, I think the areas that each one's focusing on is going to have a tremendous impact. So we in fact had a pretty intense, as Divina and Shanta will tell you, we had a pretty intense debate discussion because it's such a hard choice to make. But it came down to just founder and how the founder was able to kind of communicate problem statement and how the company was going to address that.
All right,
Yeah.
wonderful. Santanu, maybe you have a few words of advice or encouragement for not just the winner or the runner-up, but all of our semifinalists after having gone through this semifinals for Startup Arena in the rest of Southeast Asia.
How should they improve the next time round they give a pitch?
No, I must say all four ideas are very pertinent. They are looking at pertinent problems. It's just in terms of when this has to be communicated, what is most important is to look at the differentiator as to what is going to differentiate them from others who are also likely to be doing something similar, and how are they going to scale up that, leveraging on that difference or uniqueness, if there was something like that, how are they going to scale up on that? So these are certain aspects which I would kind of say are going to be important, because all problems that they're looking at pertinent.
Exactly. Like what Nikita said, we wish that, all of them are winners. And in fact, actually all of them are winners for, tackling these hard problems that really need to be addressed. Now, before we announce all the winners and the runner-ups, Nat, can you remind us what's at stake here?
All right, so let's do a little bit of a recap of the prizes that are going away tonight. For our winner and runner-up, they will walk away with attractive prizes from Google Cloud and also enter the finale at our Tech in Asia Conference 2021 virtual on October 12 and 13. However, only one of them will get $2,500 in cash prize, along with complimentary 1-week trial to App Annie Intelligence Lite. So Ting, could you do the honors of telling us who the runner-up is?
All right, hang on to your seats, folks. The runner-up is... Congratulations to AltoTech and the team. Well done, well done. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for. Nat, can you please announce the winner?
The winner of Startup Arena, the rest of Southeast Asia semifinals, walking away with $2,500 in cash is...
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
Well done to AltoTech and Equo.
Yeah, how are you two doing? Are you guys on stage?
Let's invite them on stage.
Yeah,
I can see them right now.
Let's get you up, your excited faces. Tell us how you're feeling. Maybe let's start with Waradom from AltoTech. Like what's on your mind?
Okay, thank you so much. We didn't expect that we gonna get the prize, but yeah, we really happy for the result, and we keep forward for getting better and better over time. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll definitely be watching you and the rest of your journey ahead. We'll definitely keep our ears to the ground on the developments that you guys make.
Yeah, rooting for you.
Yeah, that's right. And Marina, could you tell us, how does it feel to win Startup Arena semifinals for Southeast Asia?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it feels great. Just because there's a lot of things that are that people can say that are really going against us. You know, we're a consumer brand, direct consumer, not exactly tech. So a lot of people question the scalability of our business. So it does feel great to win because it validates that, you know, what we're doing makes sense, and what we're doing is needed, especially right now. It's something that we need to action immediately. And so I feel very grateful and honored for us to be able to kind of even compete in the same space. I didn't think we would even get admitted into the program, to be honest with you, or into this semifinals, because we weren't a tech company either. So I'm very grateful to be amongst some amazing startups doing great things as well. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm shocked, and yeah, but thank you. Grateful.
Yeah, all really great surprises. And well done again to the two startups and the teams that made everything all possible. Thank you to our judges. Thank you to the rest of the startups that participated today. And so all 6 finalists from Singapore, from Indonesia, and from today will go head to head in the final pitch battle at Tech in Asia conference on 12th and 13th. So everyone mark your calendars and, you know, watch out for that epic battle.
That's right. Once again, thank you so much, everybody, especially to our audience for joining us this afternoon. We'll see you next month at our Tech in Asia Conference 2021. Until then, thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.